Hello, and good morning. I'm Heidi Monika Romer, and I'm here with Andrea Rotondo, and I'm so excited. Today's Cafecito with United Latinas. Andrea, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Hello, everybody. I'm Andrea Rotondo. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you, Heidi.
No, we this is exciting, and we just found out that we both live in South Florida. So shout out to the warm weather girls, okay?
Yes. It's mango season. It's great. It's great.
It's all the things as we're sweating,
Yes. Yes.
right? It's all the wonderful things. So, thank you. I'm happy that you're here. I'm happy to connect with you, and we're gonna talk about something that even me, as a new entrepreneur, I'm trying to figure out too. So today's theme is why financial clarity is about more than bookkeeping.
Yes, we are.
Mm. Yes. So, Andrea, before I know I kind of gave it away a little bit saying that you're here in South Florida, but if like, please introduce yourself and what's your full name, the whole name, where you from? Tell us about your culture. What city do you live in South Florida? And then we'll kind of get right to it.
Yes. So my name is Andrea Rotondo. That is my married name. My original last name is Miranda Ortiz. So I haven't
Mm.
said that in a very long time, and it's so exciting to say it. I live in South Florida, like we talked about. I'm originally from Ecuador, though. So my whole family is from Ecuador. And a lot of us kind of like slowly made our way to here. Literally, most of us are all in the same area in Broward County.
Okay.
I did move around a lot because my husband was actually in the military, and a lot of
Mm.
those years away fed into what I do now and how I do it now. But
Okay.
I lived in Michigan, I lived in California, and I lived in Maryland, thanks to the Coast Guard. But when it was
Mm.
time to get out, we knew that we wanted to come back home for us. So this is home. It was home before we left, and it's home now. Um,
Mm.
and we'll see. We'll see where the future takes us, but at least this is home for now.
Yeah, no, I love that. Wow, so you've kind of been across the US quite a bit. So,
Yes.
okay. I've lived in a few states too. Florida's home, right? Like, I
Yeah.
know the news be making Florida look crazy. And I know
Yes.
there are some parts, but where we live, it ain't like that. At
Yes.
least that's how I feel, so I love it
I
here,
agree. I agree. I agree. Once you, I think even maybe like past Orlando, even though Orlando already feels like a little bit different, but once you get out of Florida, it really is a different country. Like coming back over here is so different in so many aspects that I'm sure that you and I could talk
Yeah,
about it forever,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it just feels so different. And there's a kind of warmth here that makes it feel more homey. Not that
I
anywhere else is a good place to live, but it does feel a little bit different. So I
I
enjoy
feel
it.
I feel the same way, right? Like I'm definitely I'm not one of those people like, oh, I live here. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I live here and I love it.
Yeah.
So, but maybe we have to get the South Florida girls together
Yes. Yes, yes,
for
yes. I'm down.
a chat. Okay, I time for business. So I am a proud board member with United Latinas. I started out as a member and really just loved the people I met, the founders, Sandra and Ileana, meeting members, becoming a better speaker, just all the things that
Yeah.
came with being a member with United Latinas. So my question to you is, how did you find out about United Latinas, and kind of what made you say yes? What made you join?
Yes. So when I mentioned that we were all over the country, it was a time for me to reflect on, I don't know how to use this word, but maybe more leaning into more Latinidad,
Yeah.
where I didn't really have that before. It was just like, when I was teenager and a kid, that wasn't really something that I thought about, honestly, growing up. It was just like,
Okay.
this is who I am, and everybody around me, we are the same. But moving
Mm,
here, there was a time where I felt like I had to hide that. So, and I did that for
mm,
many years, and it wasn't something that I was flaunting or even wanting to think about it. It was just something that I knew I had to keep it on the low. So when
mm,
I was away and there was not a lot of people similar to me around me, and there was not that kind of community, at least where I was, I realized there was something kind of missing there that I had before. And when I decided to launch my business, I knew that there was something there that I wanted to come back to the side of me that I was shutting down for so long. So in
okay.
that process, I came upon United Latinas, and the main thing that drawn me to it was the name, because
Mm,
if you are Latino, which you're here, and that means you are, you know that there are rivalries or
mm,
division, or, like, we're like this, but you're like that. And just
mm,
not this whole sense of we're one sort of thing, at least
mm.
sometimes, right? So it was interesting to me to come to that name and find that name at the time that I was. Now I understand that it doesn't
Wow.
feel so rare anymore. And it's like, of course.
Mm,
But at
mm,
that point, it
mm,
didn't feel like this natural concept. And when I started digging down into it, I was like, oh my God, there's all of these LinkedIn connections that I have that I think they're great people. They're a part of that. So maybe I should be part of it too. So all that to
mm.
say, I saw other people that I thought were amazing and they were in it already. So I decided, let me just join as well.
Oh, I love that. I mean, that's the perfect reason, right? It's I was feeling this. I'm looking for
Yeah.
belonging, right? Looking
Right.
for my people. I think it's fine to say that, right? Looking for like-minded people. And
Yeah.
the thing you said too about kind of your connections were part of the organization. So part of that is like, oh, if they're part of it, that must mean it's good, right? Or
Right.
if
Exactly.
they're part of it, okay, this is like a vetted source. So I
Yeah.
get that. Well, I'm happy that you're part of United Latinas, right? Like the members are the best part of United Latinas.
Right.
This is
Yeah.
pretty cool. It's also a great kind of segue into talking more about your business. And if you could tell us a little bit more, you know, tell us more about it. How did it start? Kind of the origin story. And I don't know if you serve kind of a particular group,
Hmm.
of people, or like, yeah, if you could tell us a little bit more about that. Brag.
Yeah.
This is time to
Of
brag,
course.
Andrea. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. So in that time when I was away with my husband for the military, there was a time when we both decided, okay, you're gonna get out, we're gonna come back to civilian life. And at that point, I wanted to plan, like, what am I going to do next? Because in that whole time that we were away, I finished my degree in psychology. My plan was actually to get into counseling or social work or something where I could serve the community around me. But because of many different reasons, I did not continue to do that. So I finished my degree in psychology. Then I had my babies, and I was home with my babies when they were little. And it was time to plan my next chapter, to say that. And I came across bookkeeping. A friend of mine told me about it, and I had no idea what this was. Interestingly, because I had a job related to that for many years before, but it was not the same name. So I was like, this looks like something that I could do on the side, just so that I can help with the finances. We don't know what life is going to look like outside of the military anymore, and I want to be able to contribute when my kids start going to school. That was kind of like my initial plan. Once I got started, I knew that I wanted to work with therapists because I felt like I owed something to the industry per se. Like, I didn't become one of you, but I want to still make an impact. So
Mm.
instead of being one of you, I'm serving you. So I knew from the beginning I want to work with mental health professionals. Let me do bookkeeping. But because of my experience as an immigrant, my experience as a military spouse that was away, and unemployment and volunteer and psychology and all of these things, I knew that the very basics of bookkeeping wasn't really what I wanted to do. I wanted to make it better, and community, or there's no necessarily community with me and my clients, but in the way that the sense of I can show up and I can ask a question, or I can, um, like, I don't have to do all the homework before I show up to a meeting, so that I'm well prepared. Like, I can just show up how I am. That's what I wanted to do for my clients. So little by little, I tweaked my services of bookkeeping so
Mm.
that my clients could just show up and not feel dumb. A lot of them would tell me, whenever I speak to this other accounting
I get
expert,
that.
I feel like I'm dumb. They make me feel like I'm dumb. Like, I don't even know what to ask. And then I feel worse than when I came. So I took all of that and I made everything that I did, like my services, I just made them better for them as a space that they could
Wow.
talk. And then it just evolved with time, not
Mhm.
only with the experiences that I had, but now I had the actual experience with my clients and what they were looking for and what they needed. And it evolved to what it is right now.
Wow. So I get that when you were saying as far as the financial piece, which is so critical to a business, but
Right.
even me, I'm like no, like I wish I knew more in that space, and it is it is nervous to talk about finances
Right.
and feel like you are asking the right questions, and so I get that. So what your clients were telling you, it is a real thing. I know that there's so many people that feel like that, but I gotta tell you, I never heard of work like kind of intentionally working in that space. Like that's, I
Right.
don't know, Andrea. You do you own the market on that? Because that's kind of cool just to be in that space. And I'm thinking what you were saying. You know, you went to school for psychology, so that kind of all plays into it. Okay.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. And because therapists, I mean, they're brilliant people and they go to school for, all of the years that they go to
Forever.
school for. And then they
Forever.
have to do all of these extra hours. Like, they are brilliant, but in none of those hours that they have uh, invested into their field, they're learning about business or
Yeah.
finances.
Yep.
So they show up to running a business feeling unprepared. Well, they are so brilliant in what they do, they're unprepared in this area. And the initial reaction tends to be like, I have to become an accounting expert for me to know how to do
Mm,
this. But then I don't want to do that. Like, I didn't go to school for accounting. So then it's easier to just kind of let it let it go, meaning like
yes.
I'm just going to continue running my business without much
Yep. The way I
involvement
know
or
how, right? The way
intentional.
I know how. Yep.
Right. But it
Mm,
doesn't have to be really complicated, and it doesn't have to be this really intricate. You need an MBA to run this. It just takes to time and to be intentional and like
yeah.
thinking about it, like, what do I want my business to look like, and what's my vision, and what do I want out of this, and do I even know how much I need to pay myself? So do I
Mhm.
have clarity in my personal finances? So all of these questions that are they don't require difficult math. It's more about
Yeah.
the questions behind it and you taking time to answer them honestly,
Mhm.
that make you then have the ability to create these steps in front of you.
So what I'm hearing is they need you. If you have a business, you don't have to have it figured out. You don't have to be the one to have the MBA, but you need someone like Andrea that can kind of be your guide and help you with your finances. That was what that translated to me. So
Yes, I
I
love
thank
that.
you. I thank you for sharing a little bit about kind of how it got started and how you kind of got into this space. And it's absolutely still in the service of others, right? 100%.
Right.
So I want to ask a few questions that is gonna they're probing questions, but the good questions, and this will allow people to even have a better understanding about you and your business and how you work. Okay, um,
Let's
what's
do it.
the biggest misconception business owners have about their finances? Like we just touched upon it, and if you want to
Yes.
expand on that a little bit more.
Yes. I think that one of the biggest, if not the biggest misconception is that thinking that having bookkeeping in place equals financial clarity. So you're a business owner and you have heard from your accountant, your CPA, everybody on social media, you need bookkeeping. So you just do the work. You have either a spreadsheet or you have QuickBooks or Zero or something and to help you track your revenue and your expenses. And the misconception is thinking that because you have that in place, that everything is now well, meaning with your financial clarity, that automatically translates into that, into knowing your cash flow, into understanding
Mm,
trends, into understanding what's making you money, into understanding where you're spending money the most, or is there an opportunity to spend somewhere else that might give you more revenue. So just the act of having the bookkeeping itself doesn't mean anything else. It just means you will be ready for taxes. And that's really good. A lot of business owners don't even have records for their books. So if you have that, congratulations, good job, you're doing it. And if you don't, I really encourage you to do it. But I don't want you to stay there. That is
mm,
part of the foundation of what I like to kind of envision it as your financial ecosystem. There's
mm,
a lot of different parts that need to work well together. Well, they need to work well by themselves and then they need to work well together. But the biggest benefit of having this in place is just not having it in place for the sake of it working well. It's just so that you can have a good experience in
mm,
the financial side of your business. And if you have a good experience, then that kind of means that you're going to continue showing up. And if you show up and if you look at your reports and you understand and you ask questions and you kind of set time to just understand what's going on and then compare it to your vision and just kind of spending time there, then more likely you're going to be able to make those decisions for your business that are going to be beneficial for you. And like I said, if you do have a good experience, you kind of motivate yourself to come back to it. But if all of this
mm.
thing over here that you have put together, maybe by design or maybe by default, that leads to you not having a good experience, you're not even going to come and you're not going to show up.
Mm. And one of the things you said too, so like, okay, yes, get your information and get it right for taxes. That's just one part. You're like
Right.
that's not the whole part. You're like that's part of the ecosystem. And then the other part is understanding like where the money's going, what's the money coming in, what's forecasted, so that whole strategy, right? So
Right.
um I just learned that recently. I'm not gonna lie. I thought the taxes was like, yeah, I got the taxes together. I'm on my way. And then, kind of what you said, what are those questions that are critical to have a successful business? I didn't have the answers. I'm still
Right.
working on the answers, you know? So the more I learn about the financial pieces and the bookkeeping piece, I'm almost wondering and I'm getting mad that they're not like talking about it more,
Right.
right? Because there's so many people I know, they have this great idea, these gifts, these services that they can do, and that's a reason why it doesn't last, right? It's the
Right.
financial component, you know. Okay. The next question I have for you, you believe the financial side of a business should be looked at as a whole rather than as a separate pieces. What does that look like in practice? I feel like I feel like we're talking about it and then I'm asking the question. So again, if you could kind of
Yes.
elaborate a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So this is my concept, or I it's not a concept, it's just how I envision it. This financial ecosystem. So we're thinking about taxes. Typically, that's where we stay, right? Like I just gotta pay my taxes and
Yeah.
I gotta be ready for that and the tax bill. And we think about it like it's this haunting thing. But in reality, there's a lot of other pieces. Like if bookkeeping is one of them, or payroll is another one, whether it's just paying yourself with owner's draws, or if you're on payroll, or if you have a small team, or if you have a large team, all of those questions and layers to payroll are its own thing. Another aspect to it could be pricing, depending on your business model, what you do, services, products. You have a pricing model and all that comes behind it. Profit is another one. We
Mm,
want our business to be profitable. We don't want our business to one day have to close its doors. And profit is what keeps the business flowing.
I want
And
all the money, Andrea, all the money, all of it.
and we need it to be sustainable, right? We don't want the
Yeah.
profit to just go, okay, next quarter, it was my best quarter. But then what happens after the quarter? So we want this to be sustainable and we want all of the layers to benefit from that profit, not just one area. Another aspect would be cash flow, right? Like profit and cash flow are not the same thing. We want cash flow, like we want to understand the timing of the money coming in and the timing of the money going out. And when looking at my profit and loss report, and then I'm looking at my cash flow statement, why are those numbers not the same? Like, where did all the rest of the money go? Um,
Mm,
think about it. An easy example to think about cash flow is when if you're using a credit card, for example, or if you have a line of credit, or if you have a loan that you're paying down, or when you pay yourself and you're not on payroll, that is still money leaving the bank, but it's not reflected on your P&L. So when you look at your
mm,
P&L, it's really important that you do, but it's not the only thing to look at because it's just giving you one one side of the whole picture. So then when you do, I want you to look at all the other reports, meaning your balance sheet and your statement of cash flow. And there's some other things that you can add there. But if you just use those three, then you'll be able to look at the whole financial
picture.
uh,
Mm,
health as a whole rather than just one area. That's kind of like when we go to the doctor, and typically, generally speaking, you're like, okay, but I feel like there's something going on. And then the doctor will be like, okay, let me just check this one thing. And you're like, but I
mm,
need you to check other things because all
yeah.
of my body is connected. Like, how can you know just by looking at this one thing? I need you to check more places. It's kind of like that. I want you to
Mm,
look at all of the areas of, I think about it like whatever money touches. Like if there's something coming in, if there's an app, if it's your calendar, if it's the bank, if it's your credit card, everything that somehow has a connection to money, it requires some level of attention. And taxes is
mm,
not the only place where that
yeah.
occurs.
Andrea, did you know that you can have workshops through United Latinas? I'm just saying, you
Ooh, I
know.
like that idea.
Yeah, I can, yeah, shameless plug here. You could,
Yes, let's do
yeah, I can see you kind of leading some workshops for the United Latinas members. Okay, okay. Um, you got me thinking. You got me thinking now. I'm like, oh, taxes, revenue stream, cash flow, profit and loss. It's not the same thing. Um, um, the next question I have for you, what inspired you to approach the financial side of business differently than a traditional bookkeeper? So we talked a little bit about that when you kind of
Mhm.
was talking about the origin story and the why
Yeah.
and your background, but I love to even know more because even just what you shared with us today, it doesn't I feel like it's you know how there's like retail therapy this is like I don't know, financial therapy, bookkeeping therapy. I don't know. That's what this kind of feels like in the best way. But
Yes.
yeah, what inspired you to kind of really approach this
Yeah.
differently?
So I think my initial motivation was I wanted to make a difference. And by choosing to work with therapists, I wanted to work with somebody that I knew that this was going to make an impact in their personal finances. I wanted them to appreciate the work that we're doing together. Typically, not typically, the way that I work, it's not you want to hire somebody, I hand it off, and then I don't ever speak to you again until it's
Mm,
tax time, and then I give you what you need. This is very, we're working together. I want to ask you questions. So in that process of my initial vision was I want to work with you. I want to hear from you. I want to give you the opportunity to take everything from your mind that maybe nobody has ever asked you before about your business and how it connects to your personal. And then all the years that I have done that, I've done this for 6 years. Um, then it was my clients and they're opening up and them sharing their struggles and them sharing the victories, like the benefit of, wow, I didn't know and now I know this. And the knowing
mm,
has helped me in this way, in this other way. And just seeing the impact of that continues to motivate me to work on it at a different angle or at a different question or maybe at another meeting because I know that this one is not enough. So it's really now that I'm doing this with clients, it's them and me seeing the benefit of that motivates me to do it differently. So
mm.
it was multi-layered, like it was my motivation, it was my story, but then it was my clients really that made it made me realize that what I wanted to do was actually valuable. So I think it was both layers were needed.
Mm,
I wanted to do this differently. I wanted to do it in a way where clients were going to really understand and take value from that. And the more that I did it, my clients were like, oh, wow, this is different. Oh, wow, nobody has ever taught me
mm,
this before. I didn't know that it was beyond taxes. I didn't know that bookkeeping
mm,
could be this. I didn't know that the question of how much I need to pay myself could lead into this three different conversations, three different appointments so that we can nail this number down. And then with this number, now I can figure out my whole plan, how my calendar should look like. So
yes,
we could
yes.
really talk forever because there's the cool thing about working with business owners that are like at the level that we are, meaning not huge corporations, is that we both understand that life changes, right? Like
Mm,
there's changes in whether they're planned or unplanned. And because you are the owner and the leader of your business, you get to decide what to do in the business. So as things evolve, as things change, sometimes for the good, sometimes not so good, you still have agency and you still have the power to
mm,
decide what happens and how you run things. You don't have to. I think one of the biggest benefits that I have gotten from this and why I'm so excited to have these conversations with clients is because you are now in control of what you do. You don't have to sit down and wait for finances in your business
that
to
that.
happen to you. It's you
Mhm.
deciding how you plan ahead of time. So you still feel like you're one step ahead instead of, like I said, just sitting and waiting for things to happen to you. Running a business takes a lot of effort and time
Yes,
and
yes.
resources. And when it comes to finances, that's not where I want you to be. Like nobody wants to feel like you're just watching this happening to me.
Mm,
When
mm.
you don't you really can switch that and be on the other side. So if I can do that for somebody, I want to. And I want them to
Wow.
have a good experience. That's also
Oh,
really important. If you have a good experience, you're more likely to come back to it and do it again. And then you have another good experience and then you're going to come back. So that was definitely, that's always something that's in my mind. I want you to come back because there's more to be discovered. There's more questions to answer. And if you don't come back, you stay where you are.
Andrea, let me tell you, can you believe we're at the 30-minute mark? I can't believe it. I'm gonna share all of your links, all the ways that people listening now and people that'll watch this later, that they can get a hold of you. I loved what you said. Thank you for sharing so much about what you do and why it matters. It's definitely, I'm getting partnership and relationship vibes from how you work.
Yeah.
It's just not transactional. Um, really, again, thank you for being the best part of United Latinas. And I look forward to connecting with you offline because since we live in the same area. And
I
just
know.
before we go, today, Paulette Pinheiro is her workshop for how to turn your marketing data into growth. That's happening today. Also, save the date, everybody. United Latinas Hispanic Heritage Month Conference is happening Wednesday, October 14th. And let me think, any other updates? Oh, nominations are still being accepted for the awards. If you won an award or you nominated someone last year, you can still nominate again. That's not just a one time thing. Want to make sure everybody knows that. And if you're thinking about being part of the next volume as part of the anthology, you still have time to kind of submit your application. Again, everybody, thank you. Andrea, thank you so much. Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you so much. Bye.